has some secrets he forgot to tell June during their last reunion in season 4. Sure, he gave her the photos of Hannah and told them how she's doing, but there's a whole new problem here. He didn't say anything about getting married, and today we want to dive a little deeper into this problem. So, don't swipe or click away, because here's the Handmaid's Tale's Nick's newfound love.
What is there?
Ever since he punched that counselor at a career center after getting into a fight with another unemployed person who was being a bully, Nick's story began. Counselor Andrew Price ran out after him and told him that there was a cure for his seemingly hopeless situation. He then gave him an invitation to a meeting of this powerful religious group called Sons of Jacob, which had 30 or more organizations across the country. There was a problem. This is the exact same organization that took over the USA and turned it into Gilead. After Price saw that Nick was hesitant, he offered to meet with him for coffee. As he agreed, they went to the local diner to talk. Nick opened up about his brother and father were laid off, and now he was the only one who could provide for his family. He even told him about his alcoholic brother who would run away and wouldn't come back for extended periods of time. Now, we didn't really see if Nick accepted the offer or not at the time, but we do know that he was sort of enamored with this idea of an organization that was going to quote-unquote clean up the country. Since he only saw destruction and despair everywhere he went, there was this need inside of him for order, and the Sons of Jacob seemed to offer that in buckets.
Hey guys, come on, guys!
That's enough! You, get out!
From the later episodes of the show, we realized that Nick had accepted the invitation, accepted the job in the organization, and when Gilead was finally formed, he became the driver of Commander Price, Guthrie, and the leading commander, Waterford. Before we talk about the change in Nick's character, don't forget to smash that like button. It keeps the almighty YouTube algorithm happy, and you keep getting these videos for free. This was the time the writers threw us a curveball and made us believe that Nick was actually a bad guy. He was presented as this chauvinistic pig, just like the rest of the men in Gilead, since he agreed with the ideas of these 3 commanders when they were discussing the roles of women in the society and asked him for his opinion. As the events unfold, we are told that Nick becomes the personal driver and caretaker of the Waterfords. This is probably the time he met Beth, with whom he had a short-lived sexual relationship, where both of them were in it for the fun. The moment that completely shakes Nick up and presents the main turning point in his life is the moment he and Rita realize that one of the handmaids serving at the Waterford estate hung herself. When Nick went to save her, she was already dead. His body was covered in a cold sweat. The man was in shock. He didn't know what to think or who to believe. Everything he knew about the society that would clean up the USA was all wrong. This was when he joined the Eyes, where he offered inside information on Waterford to Commander Price. The first person he told on was Guthrie, and rightfully so. But then his entire world is turned upside down when he and Offred met in the house. She's a handmaid who doesn't really pay attention to him, but then Nick warns Offred that she shouldn't get too close to Offglen. This was the spark that lit the whole fire. These two started a love affair even after all of the trials and tribulations that came with serving the commander. At one point, he even had to rape Offred. I mean to say June. June had never liked that name.
We should just run away somewhere.
So, as these two are getting closer and closer together, on the day of Thanksgiving, when they were honoring their highest-achieving generals, Gilead also married Nick. They gave him a young bride, and June's heart sank. Nick never loved her, but he knew that he couldn't get divorced from her either. They had more than a few turbulent moments in their relationship, but then, near the end of the season, Eden tells him that she loves another and apologizes to her husband. Realizing the messed up state that this country was in, Nick apologized to Eden for putting her through all of these hardships and tells her that she should be with whomever she wants. Now, Nick and June were left to each other, and in season 4, we saw Nick help June out tremendously. He first took care of her daughter and made sure that she was safe. As they parted ways in episode 3, they kissed each other so passionately that we thought this screamed the words they said, the 3 of the hardest words in the English language: I love you. That same episode, we saw June breaking free and escaping from Gilead. Sadly, only one other handmaid managed to escape with her. And just before the end of the season, in episode 9, Nick and June meet again. This time, he brought her the best gift he possibly could. He managed to claw his hands on some inside information. And finally, June knew that Hannah, her eldest daughter, was actually safe and sound. She even had some pictures to see how she was growing up and how she was being raised. He told her that she lives in Colorado Springs and even confirmed that Hannah's a really good student. Overwhelmed with emotion, June hugs and kissed him, which tells us that her love for him is still real and hasn't faded even a little bit. And as a final gift in the season, Nick took Commander Waterford to the woods where a group of handmaids was waiting. He handed him over to June, and she called all of her friends to step forward. As the run begins, Waterford is fleeing for his life, but he can't escape. They catch him and brutally murder him. He can consider it payback for all of the women he's killed and enslaved over the years. Now, back to Nick. When he brought June the photos of her daughter, he left out one crucial detail. He forgot to tell her that he was actually married. So now we're thinking about what's going to happen with June and Nick. There are those who would love for her to go back to Luke, and then there are those who clearly want June to end up with Nick, the one man she really grew close to in all of those seasons. Even though June and Luke were married and had a daughter together, the fact that they've been separated for so many years means that they're different people. Add to that the fact that Luke couldn't believe June killed someone, whereas Nick actually brought her the person she was supposed to kill, tells you about the level of closeness between the couples. Nick could see all of the atrocities that June went through, and he willingly brought her Waterford. But now we have something else to contend with. Nick is actually married. According to Tuckman, Nick has been married sometime between the 3rd and 9th episode. It hasn't been for too long, only a few months have passed, but we're still wondering why he didn't say anything about this when he met June. Well, here's what Tuckman said about that. Quote, he keeps it a secret from June because he's not going to dump this revelation on her and spoil their very brief encounter. And for me, the sequence with June and Nick should feel like a brief respite, a little haven for them to be together with their baby daughter, like a family, away from the pressure and stress of everything that's going on in their lives. And I think Elisabeth Moss as a director, working with our DP Stuart Biddlecombe, and as an actress with Max, created such a beautiful and heartbreaking scene.
She loves you. I love you.
On a related note, are you for Team Nick or Team Luke? You can tell us in the comments section below. If you'd like more videos like these, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon so you never miss any of them. And as always, thanks for watching, guys.